Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more One Piece. We're off from break. Time to see what happens next. Let's get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here, making sure my microphone is positioned correctly. Welcome back to more One Piece. Last we left off, Luffy was fighting Emu, and it wound up with Luffy getting impaled on Emu's Vohu blade, which we've seen just merely being drawn literally killed all plant life around him. And Luffy has suffered his most grievous injury we have ever seen him have since obtaining Gear 5. So let's see what happens in chapter 1189. Can y'all believe that after this, once we hit chapter 1190, we will be 10 chapters away from One Piece having 1,200 chapters. So, I mean, wow. That's insane how long One Piece has been going on, that it's closely approaching 1,200 chapters in the story. And even then, we're still not going to be near the end. But it's good to see you, Kohagen. Good to see you, Kratos. Who else is here? Just you two at the moment? Yes. All right. And anyone else who happens to be here, don't worry. You don't have to speak up. You can just watch. Your presence here is more than enough. It's good to see everybody. Chapter 1180. Yeah! Oh, Ozzy Edwards. Hold on. I forgot completely. You know how people be showing that they members and everything? I completely forgot that I need to be doing this. But, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Let me make sure that the button still works for the applause. Yes, give it up for Ozzy Edwards being a member for 49 months. That is so crazy, but thank you, Ozzy. Thank you. Good to see you here. We're nowhere near close to the end. Greetings, fellow peoples. By the way, we're going on another break. I figured as much. Due to the fact that it doesn't show when the next chapter is coming out, so we're pretty much on break. Let's get started. Chapter 1189, King of the World. Reader requests, Naughty see no evil. Naughty see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil monkeys getting scolded by Nami, by Toshikazu. And all of these monkeys are essentially facsimiles of Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji. The one who sees no evil is the one who's laughing his head off with his eyes closed. That's Luffy. The one who speaks no evil is the one that's keeping his mouth shut. That's Zoro. And the one who hears no evil but is completely enamored by Nami, because they basically messed up the clothes she hung up, is Sanji. And she's scolding all of these monkeys. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in chapter 1189, King of the World. And right there, Luffy is just being lifted by Emu, choking on blood and just spewing blood out of his face. And then Emu starts to drive him and proceeds to drive his sword with Luffy embedded on it, mind you. Remember, Luffy was literally impaled by this sword. He's now taking this sword and impaled Luffy directly on the tree. And Usopp notices something's wrong. So what did we talk about? Hold on, what did we talk about Usopp? What did we talk about with Usopp? Usopp just sensed this. Hold on! First, Emu impales just jabs his sword directly into the tree with Luffy on it. But Usopp just sensed this. He sensed what happened to Luffy. Is the observation haki embedded in him finally coming into? Is it finally awakening? Is it finally gonna work for Usopp? Please tell me yes. But Usopp he just stops and he's all like, what? What is it, Usopp? What happened? And he's talking to Nami. Luffy's okay, right? What? What do you mean? Don't scare me. When has Luffy ever not been okay? Consider what it means consider what it means that this enormous giant was defeated, Nami.
Fish man, who's been defeated?
And mind you, Jinbei is standing guard over Loki, and we see the comparative size of Ratatoskr, of Ragnir, right next to Jinbei. Ragnir is still big over Jinbei, like literally taller than him.
Who's been defeated?
There's no doubt that Luffy's haki suddenly grew much weaker. And then we get Frankie, because they got Shuri out of the ice.
There, the ice is totally melted now.
Princess Shuri!
Don't heat her up too quick, all right?
Not to worry, I have no body warmth. What happened to you after that? What happened all those years ago? It is you, isn't it? Princess Shuri! And then Ragnir runs up and goes, Hey, please don't interfere here. It's safe, right, Brooke? If she's still the scary version, because Usopp is already aiming at her. And then someone's going,
We're going too fast! We're going too fast, Harudin!
And it's Harudin with what appears to be, is that Gerd? That looks like Gerd. That's Gerd! Yeah, it's Gerd! Harudin is coming in hot! Yeah, they're coming in hot and they just crash. They literally crash directly into Loki's body, breaking the ship in half, breaking the Svar in half. And luckily, Chopper's there, and he goes guard point to protect Gerd, but Harudin, he just toughs it out. But they literally crash the Svar on Loki's body.
Ah! Guard point! What were you guys trying to do? Harudin, Gerd, Chopper!
And Jinbei's looking, going,
Aw, thank you, Chopper. You're so cute and helpful. Ah! Oh, yeah? Well, you can't butter me up, you jerk! There's no time to waste. Loki, show me your wounds. Ah!
And she sees all that Loki has been through. Ravi, good to see you.
You're all bloody. Oh, no!
Yeah, and some of that was because of you. What are you doing here?
And then someone was speaking to Harudin. Oh, it's Chief Jarl.
If you're just going to fight Harudin, then go to Loki instead. But the children! Even if you save the children, it is only a temporary reprieve. Do you really think that this plan to rule over Elbaf came from the decision makers at the Reverie? No, of course not. I think it's him.
Jarl knows of Emu? Brother, I think it's him. Jarl knows of Emu? And then it just cuts to the present.
Loki, do you know who that guy is?
And then Loki chimes in.
Yeah, I think I do.
And then it cuts back to Emu, who's drawing out another sword while Luffy's impaled with this one. Thou canst not move now. That sword devours thy vitality. It literally drains the life from you. Emu has a sword that will drain the life from you. That's what it... I mean, we already knew that, but we didn't know what it would do to a human body. Now we know. That sword will literally kill you. It will literally rip the life away from you. It's like having a dagger in Skyrim that has does ludicrous damage, but it also has like soul trap, the soul trap attachment to it. It will literally drain your life away from you. Thou canst not move now. That sword devours thy vitality. And mind you, Luffy's still wheezing and coughing. His eyes look hazy. How many will it take to end thee? And he draws out, and then Imu draws out another sword.
Monkey D. Luffy, a hateful name. Thou hast two brothers of different names.
Is he talking about Ace and Sabo? Is he talking about Ace and Sabo?
A hateful name. Thou hast two brothers of different names. One brother slaughtered by the Navy.
And Imu is taking this sword. Imu is taking this sword and he's putting it towards a tree branch, and the tree branch is dying literally within the vicinity of the sword. He's got another life-draining sword. He's overpowered. This man is overpowered. He's overpowered. He's got... Most villains would only just have one item that will drain your life, and then it will have like one item that'll do this and one item that will do that. No, he has multiple swords that will drain the life from you.
One brother slaughtered by the Navy. The other prominent within the Revolutionary Army.
And then he stabs Luffy again! Luffy has never been skewered like this before. He's been impaled by Crocodile's hook. He's been stabbed through the side by Katakuri's mole spear. But we have never seen Luffy get impaled onto a tree or anything of that nature like this before.
Blade of the Sea God, Fragarok.
First, Blade of Nothingness Vohu. And now Blade of the Sea God Fragarok. I'm thinking of Fraggle Rock. I'm so sorry. I'm a 90s kid. I grew up with Fraggle Rock. But
Blade of the Sea God, Fragarok. In any case, a set of most uncouth brothers.
And then we get back, we just cut it, and mind you, Luffy's screaming, being impaled. He's never been done like this before. We've never seen Luffy suffer anything like this before.
In any case, a set of most uncouth brothers.
And Luffy's still coughing up blood, being impaled. Wow, I have never seen Luffy be done like this before. We left break to see Luffy being done even worse. I'm not even gonna look at chat for a moment. Please forgive me, but I can't look at it right now. Then we cut back to Loki. We're not even halfway through the chapter yet.
It's gotta be him. The one red-hair talked about.
And then we go back in time after the fight with Harold, with Shanks and Jarl and Loki, literally moments after that fight is over.
I'll use this power to avenge the memory of my old man and his soldiers.
Mind you, Scopper Gavin's here too. And then Shanks speaks up.
Wait, Loki, I understand your rage, but what do you want, red hair? Are you gonna stop me from getting revenge for my father?
I considered Harold a friend too. I'd be right there with you. But think carefully now. The government was trying to take control of Elbaf. That's not their end goal. It's preparation for war. That's the scary thing. Them taking Elbaf is not an end goal for them. It's just a step. It's just one of the things they're doing in a list. That's the scary thing. That's not their end goal. It's preparation for war.
Huh? Is the world government getting into a war with someone else? Well, that ain't my problem. My father died an unjust death. His soldiers were killed along with him. I want vengeance for these crimes. That's all.
And who's guilty? Who will you strike down?
The world government!
The man who manipulated Harold was the king of the world. And then Jarl speaks up because this is the first time they're hearing of this secret. Only Marij will higher up tight knowledge.
What do you mean, Shanks? The entire concept of the world government is that there is no one king who...
Careful, Shanks. Careful, Shanks. Ooh, Gavin is telling him, like, be careful. Gavin is telling him, be careful how much you tell them. It's fine. No one will believe it.
So I guess that king is a culprit. I'll take his head. Nice and simple.
The king's power is impossible to measure. Shanks, of all people, is saying this person's power is impossible to measure. This is Shanks. This is Shanks. And mind you, this is before he becomes a Yonko. But he's saying that Imu's power is incalculable. The king's power is impossible to measure. Go to the Holy Land and the mystery will only deepen rather than come to light. If it were that simple, someone else would have done it already. And Loki thinks of rocks. It's not yet the time to fight.
Shut your mouth! You don't tell me what to do. I don't care where this guy is. I'll destroy anything in my way. Don't be foolish, Loki.
And then time passes, and it starts to snow in Elbaf. And we cut back to the present, with Loki going,
I left home and spent a few years abroad. In the end, I never did find my way to him. So if that's the king of the world right there, I'll never get a better chance. A simpleton's idea of a plan. What? But I've got no problem with it. Give me a chance to avenge my father too.
Oh, Harudin. And then we're back with Jinbei and company because Ragnir's speaking to everybody.
This is quite an absurd story.
If there's a king of the world, then what are the 5 elders for? No! No, stop trying to interfere!
Oh, wait, no, this is Brooke going, no, stop trying to interfere if you don't mind.
He says I froze her because she's dangerous.
What? You're the one who froze her? Yes, she was dangerous. But I'm certain that she was being controlled. You see, this girl is like a daughter to me. And I was about to say Katakuri, but Ragnar is confused because he sees that Shuri is a full-blooded human and Brooke is a walking stack of bones. Then we get back to Brooke, who just appears. She appears with a clone. She appears with a clone. This is all very interesting.
Robin?
Come to the library, Chopper.
Oh, so!
Hey,
And then we come back to Emu. He's bringing out another weapon. It's an axe.
Next is, this will do more than slash thee. Alas, the third will be Axe of Xingtian.
Axe of Xingtian. It's just a big old battle axe. It's a hatchet. He's just got a big old giant hatchet. That also looks like it's on fire a little bit.
Alas, the third will be Axe of Xingtian.
What are these names? Axe of Fragenrock? Fragenrock? We got Bohu, Fragenrock, and now we got is it Fragnarok? No, it's Fragenrock, and now we got Xingtian. And Luffy, his eyes have widened over, still coughing and barely able to breathe, bleeding everywhere.
Sea Cloud Port, Western Village. King of Hell, 3-sword serpent, 103 mercies. Dragon damnation.
And Zoro, Gram. And Sommers uses the same move that Emu used against Loki. So he's able to use the same swords as Emu. But both Sommers and Zoro, I can't find the names. It's just like, this panel. But Zoro is already clashing with Sommers right now.
800 years ago, the 19 kings who created this world took an oath of equality, thrusting their weapons into the floor around the empty throne.
And Sommers is just explaining this to Zoro. And then he gets tossed away.
Blade of Chaos, Tohu, Vohu, Nemesis, Longinus, Stigma, Muramasa. They are the 19 weapons of those who brought the world to heel.
That the names of all the weapons of Emu are of the 19 kingdoms that make up the world government. I'm done. All of these, I'm sorry, Oda is giving us info! He's giving us info! Ow! Every one of those swords at the empty throne has a name. Every single one of those swords, every weapon that Emu has used, is a weapon that sits at the empty throne right now.
Blade of Chaos, Tohu, Vohu, Nemesis, Longinus, Stigma, Muramasa. They are the 19 weapons of those who brought the world to heel. The Great One used Omen to bring them back and grant them to us. There are no lies among the legends each family passed down. You see, Roronoa Zoro? This is the power that conquered the world. From the Shepherd family, Grom.
Bro, every single family in Marijois has a named weapon linked to their family.
From the Shepherd family, Grom.
And then we get Killingham with his spear.
This spear has been passed down through the Rimoshifu family, Longinus.
And then Emu goes to swing his axe.
Thou shouldst be honored to die by the weapons that created the world.
And Luffy can't move. As he swings, we get Scupper Gammon! And he intercepts Emu! To be continued! The Mountain Eater has returned to fight the King of the World! And we just get Scopper Gavin just smiling, just smiling at Emu with a big old toothy grin. That isn't an upset face. That's a like, ha, nice try, but I can't have you kill the kid. Literally. But also, because and before I even stop, Gavin comes in. And I don't know if Gavin was the one who cut the tree or if it's from the shockwave of Emu's attack. But the tree that Luffy is impaled upon is cut to pieces, and the part of the tree he's impaled on, that falls away from Emu. So either I think Gavin was the one who cut the tree in order to get Luffy away, and now he's intercepting Emu. A member of the Roger Pirates is about to fight Emu. Rox never even got the chance to do it. And now a member of the Roger Pirates is about to fight Emu. I understand why we're on break. I understand completely. Okay. It's definitely Gavin that cut the tree. Is very precise. Yeah, it is. Ooh. Which brings up another theory. Where is the weapon from the Nefertiri family? Let's not forget there were 20 families. Yes, but the one, I feel like the reason why there isn't a weapon for the Nefertiri family at the empty throne is simply because Lily left and decided to stay in Alabasta rather than be at Marijois. Because I believe those weapons are there for the families that stayed in the Holy Land. Also, Gavin knows everything. He might reveal something. Gavin went to Laughtail. You're right. So, that's the end of the chapter. Oh my goodness, we just learned so much. So, the weapon that helped create the world that Zoro's fighting against is Grom. And the weapon, and the other weapon that Sanji is facing off against is Longinus. all of these weapons, all of these weapon names that Emu has shot off and showed us, they all belong to a family in Marijois. Now, mind you, the families are not named after the swords, but every sword belongs to a family of some name. Every single one. So it makes me wonder which weapon belongs to the Don Quixote family. Because remember, they were a family as well, but pretty much all except one are dead. So I wonder if their weapon is still there. Which weapon that we got the name of belongs to the Don Quixote family? I'm kind of curious about that one, because if every named family in Marijois has a weapon named, has a weapon linked to their family name, I wonder which one Doflamingo's family belongs to. But let me go ahead and go through the chat to see what you guys have said. Let's see. Yo, give me some eating now. Can't hear, but supporting you. Oh, thank you, CDs. You take time and you enjoy yourself. You could always look at this later. I am literally taking a bow. Ozzy, I really do appreciate you. DJ, it's good to see you. Usopp moment, finally. Look. Usopp sensing that something is off about Luffy? He's definitely sensing something. That's Oda saying like, oh, you thought I forgot about him having observation haki. We literally discussed this in the last stream, I think. I think we just discussed it about Usopp having some sort of power up of some kind, and I hope Oda didn't forget about it, or I would be upset if Oda doesn't do anything about it in the very arc that would be most important to Usopp, and Oda just gave it to us literally in the first couple of panels. He literally just said, like, don't think I forgot about Usopp having observation. So let me see. After 12 years, Usopp finally uses observation haki. Last we see Usopp having observation haki was during Dressrosa arc. Yep, when he was aiming at Sugar to keep Sugar from turning Law and Luffy into toys. Didn't anyone feel like the translation of this chapter was a bit confusing? Not for me. It didn't seem confusing to me. I made sense. Everything made sense to me. I didn't get confused about anything, not that I know of. Look at Loki with that Vegeta pride. I'm the prince of all giants, and you will not be able to beat me this time, Kakarot. I mean, Harudin. It's not only crazy that it's been 12 years in real life, but in lore, it's probably only been like 2 to 3 months max. It's kind of crazy to think about that. Yeah, remember how we spent 2 years in Dressrosa? Let's see. Oh, Lord, I'm late. Anime Juke, you're fine. You're fine. Glad you edited that, but you're absolutely right. Let's see. I don't know whether it's a good type of lucky or bad. Hey, Qushu, what's up? I'm late. It's all good, Fizz. Emu is super broken. Very, very broken. What do you mean? Every single one of these weapons he draws out has the power to literally drain the life from you. Even just holding one sword near a tree branch caused it to basically die just in the vicinity of the sword. True again. Luffy needs some milk. Fire stream. Stay hydrated, peoples. Well, thank you, Potots. So he's been crocodiled twice by the rule of the world. Well, that's not looking good. We've never seen Luffy suffer injuries this grave before. He's been impaled not once but twice. This isn't like him. He's been impaled once and then just stabbed in the shoulder just a little bit. No, he's been impaled in his body twice, with enough of it going through him and through the tree he's impaled on, to just make doubly sure that he doesn't go anywhere. We have never seen Luffy beaten this. We have never seen Luffy injured this gravely. The last time we saw Luffy injured to the point where we were kind of wondering if he was going to make it was literally when he was poisoned by Magellan. Poisoned by Magellan. And the only person who could save Luffy was Emporio Ivankov. And even then, the surgery that was going to save Luffy had like a 1% chance of success, and it all rested on Luffy's will to live. Not to mention, we had another moment where Luffy was beaten a handful of times by Kaido, and the last one should have killed him had it not been for his devil fruit awakening in that moment and essentially resuscitating him. But we've never seen Luffy injured to this point where he's literally having his own internal organs and body pierced through. Because bladed weapons are literally his worst enemy. Blunt objects, blunt force trauma, yeah, he can literally bounce back from that. But sharp claws and swords and everything, no. What happens to rubber when you hit it with something, rounded or blunt? It literally rebounds and bounces back. But if you cut into rubber, rubber can't just form itself around that sharp edge. And now Luffy's been impaled here twice by swords that literally drain the life from you, since we know what these swords do now. They literally will steal your life away. And I keep coming back to the moments where Luffy has undergone many things that have actually shortened his life several times over the series. One, Gear Second, where he basically forcibly pumps blood through his body to make him faster, but it also shortens his lifespan because it's literally causing his body to, work overtime. And not to mention years being taken off of his life from the surgery that literally saved him by Ivankov in Impel Down in 5.5. This is yet another moment where his life is literally slipping away again. But this time, it's against his will. So who knows what this sword is truly doing to Luffy in the long run? Because Luffy has lost years of his life through the result of some of his own actions, moderately with Gear Second, but a lot with the surgery that saved him in Impel Down. And now he's impaled not once, but twice on two swords that literally could drain the very years off of his life. So the question is, what is this doing to him in the long run? Let's see. So he's been crocodiled twice by the ruler of the world, not looking good. And during all of this, Luffy is still in Gear 5. Yeah, he's still in his Gear 5 state. Luffy is not on Joy Boy's level, but Emu kind of respects Luffy in a way by not letting him move or do something. Luffy still has a Nika fruit. The rubber always bounces back, so Emu's trying everything. He's doing what a lot of villains in other series don't do. They give the hero a chance to move or escape. Many times we've seen Luffy incapacitated, but still able to, move moderately or keep himself from being taken or whatever. But here we have Emu being doubly sure. Let me impale you twice to just be sure that you don't go anywhere. Let's see, that is so Ozzy. Luffy is still in Gear 5 despite being stabbed multiple times by Emu. To be fair, Luffy ate a lot of food, meat food. Remember, Luffy passed out to one Thunder Bagua and got prisoned onto Udon. Now he's been stabbed twice and he hasn't even gotten out of Gear 5. That's a crazy feat in my opinion. You're right. Luffy got one shot by Kaido in Gear 4 and came out of it instantly. But here, he's still in Gear 5, being impaled by swords that's literally draining the life from him, and he still hasn't left that form yet. Because if he does leave it, we know the drawbacks. So who knows how worse things would be if he were to leave Gear 5 while being impaled by the sword that's draining his life away, and he's already going to be in a decrepit state if it fully undoes. If it fully undoes the drain effect, fully goes into like the old man decrepit mode after Gear 5 is done, after using it for such a while. Imagine what those swords would do to him if he were to leave Gear 5 right now. He would literally die. Luffy's barely holding out on Gear 5. That's a crazy feat. Now this panel's translation confused me. Shanks in the official says like someone would have gotten to Emu if it was that easy. Yeah, he's saying that. He's basically saying that Emu's power is impossible to measure. Go to the Holy Land and the mystery will only deepen rather than come to light. If it were that simple, someone else would have done it already. He's essentially saying that if it was that easy just to go to where Emu was and then take his head, someone literally would have done it already. So, but in other translations, it kind of implied that Shanks says that there was someone else who got to Emu but couldn't unalive him because he was at Marijois when Rox went to the flower garden. That's just those other translations, though. This is the reason why I stick with the official translations, because other translations will have you thinking like, oh, so this is what he meant, but then, you get the official one, so it's kind of confusing a little bit. Let's see, in other words, the gauntlet with no guarantee of winning. Fragon Rock is a Celtic deity. Thank you, Cohagen, because I knew there were going to be references here. Now we're learning more about the omen weapons of Emu: Stigma, Longinus, Grom, Fragon Rock, Tohu, Vohu. Vohu is literally Blade of Nothingness. What's Tohu? We learned about Tohu. Hold on, let me see. Let me go to Summers. Blade of Chaos, Tohu, Vohu, Nemesis, Longinus, Stigma, Muramasa. It'd be crazy if the Muramasa is from the Ethan Baron family. If it's from Ethan Baron's lineage, Muramasa, it would fit, because Muramasa has a history of being known as a cursed blade from the opposite of Masamune. But the swords that Muramasa created were considered cursed. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ethan Baron's weapon, at least the weapon that represents the family of the 19 kingdoms, belongs to Ethan Baron's family, Muramasa. That's just my assumption, simply because Muramasa tends to be a katana the majority of the time. But yeah, they are the 19 weapons of those who brought the world to heel. So let me go back here. Imu doing everything he can to break Luffy's will and kill him, but I'm impressed on how Luffy's able to stay in Gear 5. That's actually pretty crazy feat indeed, Kratos. Gear 5, the peak of Luffy's imagination, the embodiment of Joy Boy, the gear where he's most free, is being impaled twice by Imu. Shanks the goat? Yes, he is. There's a big reveal. Another interesting thing is Imu can spawn whatever sword he wants on the cloudy side of his weapon, it seems. He has already used Nemesis, Stigma, and Gram so far. Don't forget Vohu, because he literally just used it against Luffy. And now he's used... Where is it? Axe of Xingtian. That's an axe. So I wonder who the axe belongs to in that family. But the fact that he was intending to he impaled Luffy twice and was preparing to basically cleave him in half until Gabin came in and intercepted him. Let's see. Now Oda is giving buffs to God's Knights. Zoro and Sanji might have a hard time fighting them, but it's for the best so they can become stronger. I hope I mentioned that while Summers is doing this whole big spiel, this whole big speech, he sends Zoro flying with Gram. Mind you, this is Zoro using the very same move. This was his move he used against King, right? 103 Mercies? Yeah. I think this is the same move he used against King, and Summers just tossed him aside in that same instance while he's preaching on about the power of Imu. Oda is giving information, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Love me some more info about the lore. I do too. Wonder if Luffy can also spawn weapons, since he can transform into a genie, spawn a goggles out of his hair, a baseball bat too. Mountain Eater for the save temporarily. That is plenty of time for Luffy to recover for round 2. This is going to be insane and very intense once this chapter gets animated. I'm kind of scared by Gabin low-key. He might die. He is not fully healed. That's the kind of the concern I had when I'm looking at Gabin's face. His whole face is just completely shaded over in the front. He's smiling, but his face is shaded over. I really hope we don't lose Gabin in this fight. And one thing is, against Imu in this state, it's axe versus axe. Gavin using his axes against Imu's axe. So that would be an interesting fight to see which axe is stronger. It's definitely Gavin that cut the trees, very precise. Which brings up another theory. Okay, I read that one already. Also, Gavin knows everything. I read that one too. Emu's moving like CJ from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Let's see. Gavin might reveal something major by fighting Emu, but Emu might kill him. Kind of scared by Gavin low-key. I'm kind of worried about him too. Have another theory. Where did the families even get the blades of different gods? Was the second world from the mural supposed to be a fight between men and gods? I am not... Here's my thing. While these weapons are named after gods, I don't think they're weapons from gods. I think they just have that name simply because you know how the celestial dragons see themselves as gods. Well, what's one of the best ways you can show your own representation for your entire lineage? Name a weapon that you have in your family after another god, because what better way to showcase your own superiority than by having a weapon for your family name also bear the name of a god as well? So that's how I see it. I don't see it as weapons directly from these gods themselves, but literally named after gods to keep the theme with the celestial dragons calling themselves gods. Oh, we're gods of this world, so this weapon that represents my entire family is named after a god as well. Because we are gods, you see, and we only use weapons named after them. I get that vibe. It just seems like that to me. I would like to see a Gungnir weapon too. We got Longinus. There's so much to unpack from this chapter, lore after lore. That's actually a pretty good point. Doflamingo even said something about the empty throne, so it makes sense for one of the swords to be in that family. I wonder if there's a Don Quixote member in the Holy Knights. That's also a possibility. Now, you say reaching, but basically anything is possible now, given how much we've seen in One Piece. Theories are literally just, it could or could not happen. Some of them do be far-fetched. I'm gonna be real with you, but some of them, some other ones, they kind of keep you locked in just a little bit. Let's see, Luffy will eat more meat and he'll be fine, and drink some milk too. Considering Shanks has been very important in this arc so far with lore drops and been present in some key moments, he might be coming to save the day, but I don't want this to be the reunion. I don't know. I don't know if Shanks showing up right now is the time. I don't know, because if Shanks shows up and he starts fighting Emu, I don't know how I feel about Shanks just showing up all of a sudden. And mind you, we'll be able to discuss way more of this upcoming Friday, because that'll be the last day of July, and we can go over everything here, because I still got Sakamoto Days and Hunter x Hunter to go through, and a One Piece episode 2. But let me catch up. There's more chances to see Uru sooner than we see Dragon doing something right now. Yeah, you're right. We'll see Mad Monk Uruj before we see Dragon and Shanks do anything major. I'm being so serious. Let's see, I would love to see Uruj. I love him. I like him. Emu's gonna come back to Marij while being destroyed, because who knows, Dragon or Blackbeard might have wreaked havoc already. I would love to see him do something too. He's the only supernova that hasn't been involved in the story so far. The only one who hasn't actually interacted with any member of the Straw Hats too. Literally. Everyone else from the supernovas have interacted with the Straw Hats in some way. Blackbeard with Luffy, and everyone else with the rest of the Straw Hat crew throughout the different arcs we've been through. Starting with, starting with Sabaody and leading all the way up until Wano. Everyone of the supernovas, all the way to Egghead as well. Because everyone all the way up to Jewelry Bonnie has interacted with the Straw Hat crew, except for Urush. Yeah, that's the move he defeated King with. Let's not forget, Zoro isn't even wearing his bandana yet. People out there want to know what's the weapon from the Don Quixote family, but I'm more interested to know what's the weapon from the Rosward family. That's a good point. Because if all these named families have a weapon, makes you wonder which one of these weapons that Emu pulls out of his omen, which one is linked to the Rosward family. Is it Rosward or is it Roswald? I think it's Rosward. Gabin might get help from the Straw Hats that are there, like Nami, Jinbei, Brook, Usopp. Would love to see Usopp and Harudin team up against Emu while Luffy and Loki recovers, because Gerd is there, so she's going to be able to provide some first aid to Loki, which is good, because man is hurt. He's been impaled too. Everybody that's been facing Emu has either had a limb sliced off or they've been impaled. Last time Harudin tried to attack Emu, Stanzen lost a leg. It's not really Shanks showing up all of a sudden, considering Elbaf is literally his territory. There's a slight chance, is what I'm trying to say. Elbaf arc just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Yes, Roswald. Okay, thank you. I'm back. What you think of this chapter? 10 out of 10. Very good chapter. If you were here, you would know my whole opinion on the matter. I kid, but yeah. Okay, so I caught up to everyone. You want to know something on a very personal note as I do these reactions and everything? When I first started, I would only get like a handful of people that would watch what I do. And just seeing like double digits of people watching me now, for some people, it'd be like, what? Just double digits, not 3? I'm like, double digits is pretty big to me. Just that many people who like to watch what I do. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for everything. I would not be able to do half the stuff I do here on this channel if it wasn't for your guys' support. And I just want to say thank you. I should have said this at the beginning, but I want to say it now because it's really just truly dawning on me. I'm just very grateful to be where I am in life, and I get to fully enjoy this. So now that we're done with the chapter, you already know what we're about to do. Summary time! Let me go ahead and pull it up. Do. You're welcome. Glad we're here. Lots of love. Well, thank you guys. Thank you. I'm not trying to say that to get props or get pats on the back from you guys. I'm just very, very grateful. So I don't care about Splatoon Raiders, even though it's kind of good. Apparently Splatoon Raiders is kind of good right now. Longs chapter 1189. After stabbing Luffy with Bohu, Imu drives the sword into a nearby tree, thus pinning Luffy to it. Usopp senses something bad has happened to Luffy, which Nami notices, but even Usopp is unsure of what will happen to him. A fear Jinbei shares considering how Loki was beaten by Imu previously, despite the latter's denial. As for Gunko, she has been fully freed from Ragnir's ice, but she still hasn't woken up despite Brook trying desperately to get some answers, and Ragnir trying to interfere with him isn't helping either. Just then, Harudin and Gerd arrive on Asvar, but because they were going too fast, they end up crashing, though Chopper uses guard point to cushion Gerd's blow, which she is thankful for afterwards. Gerd immediately moves to treat Loki's injuries, which she notices are very bad, despite Loki pointing out her and Harudin's unexpected arrival didn't help, because they literally crashed on his body. It turns out after Harudin woke up following his encounter with Imu, he wanted to get back into the fight. Here's the thing, the last time we saw Harudin, he got fully engulfed in an ominous explosion. When he woke up, he said, "It's on sight," and immediately traveled over to where everyone was after Imu did that. He wanted to get back into the fight, but Jarl told him to go to Loki's side instead of trying to rescue the children, explaining to him, hold on, family. I gotta be careful because there's some observation hockey users in this chat. Gotta cover up my mouth sometimes. Back to it. It turns out after Harudin woke up following his encounter with Imu, he wanted to get back into the fight, but Jarl told him to go to Loki's side instead of trying to rescue the children, explaining to him that saving the children is merely a temporary way to keep the world government from subjugating Elbaf, as he believes this decision to conquer them didn't come from the reverie itself, but from Imu's own personal desires. Remembering this, Harudin asks Loki if he knows who Imu is, and he admits he believes so. Speaking of, Imu conjures up another sword called Fragarok, which he says consumes vitality. He wonders how many weapons he will need to kill Luffy, as he tells him he despises his name, yet he has two brothers with different names. Regardless, he calls the three of them a group of uncouth individuals, as he stabs Luffy with Fragarok, as Loki says to everyone present that Imu is the person Shanks told him about the day Harold died. After that day, when Loki wanted to set out to sea and hunt down who it was that was ultimately responsible for the massacre at the castle, Shanks told Loki that though he sympathized with him as he also considered Harold a dear friend, He informed him that taking control of Elbaf was not the world government's end goal, but merely a preparation for war. Though surprised, Loki states he only wants vengeance, but Shanks asks him who exactly he wants revenge on. Loki answers that he wants to take down the world government, but Shanks clarifies that the one who manipulated Harold was the king of the world. Jarl is shocked to hear this, as he knows the world government having a king goes against their entire concept. Correction, goes against their entire lie that they told the world. While Gavin warns Shanks to be careful about his words, even though Shanks knows no one else would believe him. Loki thought that if he could take down Emu, then his revenge would be complete, but Shanks warns him that Emu's power is beyond measurement. That's scary when you hear someone like Shanks say, this person's power is beyond your ability to measure how far it goes. We have never had a person described this way. We had someone like in the way of Kaido being described as, invincible. But we've never heard Kaido be described as his power is beyond measure. Sure, his strength was scary. One of the scariest displays of strength we've ever seen in the series up until a certain point, but we've never heard anyone be described as their power being beyond measure, incalculable even. Emu's the only person thus far who's like, we don't even know how far his powers can actually go, or how powerful he truly is, or what the upper limits are. He's just powerful. If Shanks, even at a young age, Shanks was very perceptive. Wise beyond his years, especially hanging around Gavin and multiple people all his life, and learning all that he could when he was in Marijois. This isn't hyperbole. Emu's power warned him that Emu's power is beyond measurement, and going there will only lead to more questions than answers. And if going there and taking him down was that simple, it would have been done so already. Therefore, this isn't the time to be picking a fight with him, but instead to wait until the right moment. Despite that, Loki still took the sea to find Emu, but was unable to do so. And if he is indeed the king of the world that Shanks spoke of, then this is his chance to avenge his father. Harudine calls him a simpleton for thinking it would be easy, but in this case he wants to help and avenge his father too. The Straw Hats, meanwhile, are equally surprised to learn that there is a king of the world and ponder the role the five elders have. All the while, Ragnir tries to stop Brook from waking Gunko up. Does Ragnir know something that we don't? With Chopper revealing that Ragnir was the one who froze her in the first place due to how dangerous she is. Brook acknowledges this, but confidently believes she was being controlled, and he wants to help her because she is like a daughter to him. Robin then arrives and asks Chopper to come to the library with her. Ooh, Chopper going to the library? Chopper's going to translate for Biblo. I'm calling it right now. No one can understand animal speak but Chopper. Chopper's going to Ooh, I just realized Chopper's going to the library because Biblo has something to say and only Chopper can translate. There's a reason why Chopper's in the vicinity right now. I didn't realize that. Chopper's gonna translate what Biblo knows. What does Biblo know though? Ooh, okay, let me continue. Robin then arrives and asks Chopper to come to the library with her. Back with Emu, he summons another weapon, which turns out to be an axe called the Axe of Xingtian. At the seaport, Sommers blocks Zoro's attack with Gram before blowing him away. Afterwards, he reveals to Zoro that the sword he wields, along with the other weapons Emu used, were the weapons utilized by the first 20 and seen placed before the empty throne. And through the power of Omen, Sommers can use them just like Emu can, with Gram in particular belonging to the Shepherd family, while Killingham conjures Longinus, a spear passed down through the Remo Shifu family, to fight Sanji. As Emu prepares to kill Luffy with the axe of Xingtian, he tells him he should be honored to die at the hands of the weapons that were used to conquer and create the world as they know it today. But thankfully, Emu's attack is blocked by Gavin, who arrived on the scene to help Luffy. So, of course, we have quick notes. They didn't have it for the last chapter, but we got them here. Imu uses the Sea God sword to stab Luffy and pin him to a tree. Imu hands out weapons originally belonging to the first 20, giving the sword of Grom to Summers for fighting Zoro and the spear Longinus to Killingham for fighting Sanji. Chopper, Harudin, and Gerd arrives to tend the injured Loki, as the latter recalls a past conversation with Shanks on the day Harold died, where Shanks warned that the world government's ultimate enemy is the king of the world. Usopp can sense Luffy is in grave danger. Observation Haki. The streak has been broken. It's been 12 years. It's been 12 years. It's been a decade and 2 years. The streak has been broken. Usopp used Haki again. Mind you, he didn't use it to like perfection, but now we have to restart the clock and see how long it takes him to use Haki again. But yeah, Usopp can sense Luffy is in danger, in grave danger. Gunko was thawed from Ragnir's ice block, although she remains unconscious. And Imu prepares to finish Luffy with the axe of Xingtian, but Scopper Gabbin appears just in time to block Imu's attack on Luffy. So, this is where we're at. Oh, we're definitely going to discuss this. But while I have the opportunity, I would love to see Usopp using more Haki. By the way, Frankie and the others too. Let me reload this page. Let me reload this page and then go to the Akuma no Mi, because we just seen like a new weapon come out. Let me see. Omen, Domi Reversi, Nemesis, Zitzi Middle, Gram, Stigma, Bohu. So they don't have acts of Xingtian in here. But they did add some new stuff. Let's see. Generally, an omen refers to a foreboding signal in religion and mythology, which is often accompanied by great consequences that might be negative or positive, reflecting the power's own nature. Oh, here's another reference. The multi-eyed cloud around Imu might be a reference to how the biblical Ophanim appear with similar rings covered in eyes. Let's see. Curiously, several traits provided by this fruit is similar to those naturally found in the Lunarian race, including dark angel-like wings, a flaming halo, and the ability to generate fire from one's body. Incidentally, the Lunarian race were once called a tribe of gods and lived on top of the Red Line, which was called the Kingdom of Gods. The current user, Imu, regards himself as a god and lives in Marijwa, which is located on top of the Red Line. It'd be funny if Imu turns out to be like a Lunarian that also gained these powers from the Akuma no Mi. Not just appearance-wise, but he's truly a Lunarian. But I'm getting off topic here. Imu's omen techniques have a naming scheme based on divine figures and weapons from multiple mythologies, including Greek, Aztec, Norse, Biblical, and Chinese names. Might as well put multiple mythologies and religions as well, just to cover all those bases. So it's not showing his sword with Imu. However, I can go over to the weapons. And let's see. So he has multiple weapons. Long glaive-like polearm covered in omen. He summons a blade named Bohu. One of the first 20's 19 blades planted at the base of the empty throne. With it, he's able to wither away a whole section of the forest and even impale Luffy with ease. He soon after called upon 2 more blades of the same origin, a long sword named Fragorok and an axe named Xingtian. Both were used to try to finish off Luffy. So if I pull up axe of Xingtian, one of the 19 weapons that were planted around the empty throne, belonging to a yet unknown world noble family that Narona Imu is capable of summoning via the demonic power of Omen. So if I go to trivia, the axe is likely referenced to Xingtian, Chinese, literally punishing heaven, a divine giant from Chinese mythology, of which the most famous account comes from the ancient classic of mountains and seas. an indomitable warrior, Xing not Xing, but Xing Tian is said to have fought the supreme god, the Yellow Emperor, to usurp his title, but lost and was subsequently decapitated. Despite this, Xing Tian survived headless, using his... What? This is crazy. Using his nipples as eyes and his navel as a mouth while brandishing an axe and shield to perform a warrior dance. Okay. 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 That's the description. Now to Fraggarok. Fraggarok, often translated as Answerer or Retaliator, is a magic sword from Irish mythology that belonged to the sea god Manannán mac Lir. Manannán mac Lir, and later to his foster son, the divine war hero Lu. It was said that the sword could pierce any armor, dealt unhealable wounds, placed the wind at its wielder's command, and when held at someone's throat would force them to tell the truth. It is unknown if the sea god component of Fraggarok's name of the kanji is connected to figures such as Poseidon, sea god Neptune, or the sea god figure mentioned in the Harley texts. Yo, don't laugh at a deity. I'm gonna laugh at whoever I want to. That's using your chest for eyes and your navel for as a mouth to use a sword and shield and do a warrior dance? Of course I'm gonna laugh at that. Cause I'm just an American who's looking at it and I'm just kind of poking fun, but I do respect it though. So those are the new weapons from Emu. And we've seen the other ones that he's used. That's crazy. So if I go to like the first 20, so we currently have 3 weapons that are unknown. And just like I said, the only ones we have 3 weapons that we don't know of. One that belongs to the Don Quixote family, one that belongs to the Nefertari family, and one that belongs to the Nerona family. The ones that have names, we only know of 2 that are actually linked to people. We only know those being Grom with the Shepherd family and Longinus with the Rimoshifu. Bohu, Fraggarok, Axe of Xing Tian, Tohu, Nemesis Stigma, and Muramasa are still currently unknown. So the families we know of, but they have no weapons for, the weapons are unknown. The 2 families we know of that have weapons belong to the Shepherd family and the Rimoshifu family, and the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the remaining 7 weapons that we know of so far, because remember, there's 19. The only ones that we have names for is just 7. We just have 7 that are named, but there's 19 in total. So there's still. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, look at me. Yeah. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't know the families linked to them, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 3 others linked to families we know of that we don't know of, meaning that there is still 7 more weapons that we still don't know of that isn't linked to anybody yet, that we don't know of. While the family names of some world nobles have been revealed, it has been stated that they are the descendants of 19 of the first 20, it is yet to be confirmed if those families retained their names. These include the Figureland, Manmeyer, Jay Garcia, Marcus, Topman, Ethan Barron, Bavette, Satchels, and Rosward families. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 families left. So there's still more families to link with some of these weapons still. We still got more of those. But this was a good chapter. This was a good chapter. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go because I got to do Sakamoto Days after this. And I'm more than likely going to take a break to eat food because I got food on the way. I'm more than likely going to take a break to eat that food. And then we'll do Hunter x Hunter. And then I'll take care of everything else that I got to do today. But Luffy has been saved by Gavin. But I am worried for Gavin because he's not fully healed. He was still resting when Chopper was tending to him and when he made it here. He was still resting beforehand, but Luffy is in a bad way. And we're going on break after seeing all of this craziness. So think about this for a second. These weapons can drain the life from you. Zoro's going up against a life-draining sword. Sanji is going up against a life-draining sword. Still having to come to terms with who he is as an individual for him to actually unlock Conquerors, which is the only way you're going to be able to stand a chance against a Holy Knight. And remember, the Roger Pirates bodied all the Holy Knights every single time they showed up. So Zoro and Sanji need to lock in if they're going to beat these dudes down. But I still think that we haven't seen the absolute height of this fight yet. We are still nowhere near the end of this fight. We're not there yet. We are not there yet. And that's what terrifies me because we've seen so much from Imu. And yet I still feel like this battle still has more to go. So now we got to concern ourselves with getting Luffy unimpaled from this tree because he's still impaled on it. Despite the fact that the chunks of that tree have been cut apart by Gavin, he's still impaled on it. So the Straw Hats need to help get that sword out of him. Try and heal him up. Because I don't know if Luffy is going to be in fighting condition being impaled on this tree like this, on this tree trunk like this. I don't know if he's going to be in fighting condition to continue on after being done like this. I don't know, but we'll have to see. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my reaction to the newest chapter of One Piece. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be here. I really do appreciate it. And it's time for me what is Roger doing? What is he doing? But yeah, this was fun. And for every person here who's new, I really do hope you enjoyed yourself. For all of my regulars, it's always good to see you. Thank you, Ozzy, once again for being a member for 49 months. Was it 49 months? Goodness gracious, where does the time go? I thank you for your support. To all my members, well, basically to everyone, but to all my members, I really do thank you for your support for what I do here on this channel. Got a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing in the next 2 months. August is going to be our little rest period before things crack down in September. But I'll talk about that once the August channel video goes up in August. So we'll discuss it later. I hope to see you guys again for my upcoming One Piece Reflection stream at the end of July, which will be on a Friday, so we can discuss all the chapters that we got this month and where we could possibly see the story going from here. This will be a big One Piece discussion for everybody who would like to join in. But other than that, that's all I got. To everyone here, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Even check out my membership here on YouTube or my Patreon, because I'm uploading more stuff over there. Because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later peoples, on to Sakamoto Days.